Hi guys, welcome back to another video this week. I'm glad you're back. For this week's recipe, we're going to be making Chocoflan. Chocoflan, it's like a traditional flan, but on the bottom it's gonna have chocolate cake in it. It is very delicious. It's one of my brother's top favorite desserts. Very easy, very simple to make. It doesn't take very much prepping for it, but I do recommend doing it a day before you actually need it because it needs to cool down and the flavor is going to be much better. For your ingredients, we're going to be using 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of vanilla, half a cup of sugar, half a cup of vegetable oil, 1 cup of whole milk, 9 large eggs, 1 can of condensed milk, 1 can of media crema. You can find media crema at your local Walmart store, 1 can of evaporated milk, and 1 package of your chocolate cake mixture. Any type that you want to use, just use that. We're going to be doing this on the oven, so I'm going to be using a double boiler. I'm going to have a large pan with water in the bottom, and then this circle pan I'm going to be using to do my chocoflan in. In a circle pan, we're going to add half a cup of sugar, and we're going to put it directly on the stove on medium to low heat. You have to be very patient with this. It is going to be a very slow process, but if you put the heat on high, there's a higher chance for your sugar to burn. So make sure you have it on medium to low heat and you keep stirring it every once in a while. Once your sugar turns like a jello-ish color, that's when you're going to turn off the heat and you're going to start rotating your pan. Make sure that the sugar coating gets all over your pan so the flan won't stick to it. If you want your flan to be very juicy, I would suggest putting 1 cup of sugar. I don't like mine to be very sugary, so I only did half a cup. It's also going to turn out much smoother at the top of your flan if you add more sugar to it. Once it's all covered, it should turn like this. If you see that your sugar is starting to get hard before you can cover your entire pan, just turn on your heat on a low setting and start rotating it while you're putting it on top of the stove. Since I have an electric stove, it's easier because the top is already hot, so I just turned it off, but the top is still hot, so I'm just placing it on top to kind of warm the sugar but not completely like burn it. You want to make sure that you let your sugar harden before you start putting everything in. So it takes about 15-20 minutes for this to be done. We're going to start off by doing our chocolate cake mixture next. In a bowl, we're going to add 4 large eggs, 1 cup of the milk, and half a cup of the olive oil or vegetable oil. We're going to mix this first. Make sure it's completely mixed. If you have a stand-on mix, you can use that. I don't, so I'm going to be using this hand mixed. Once your liquids have been incorporated together, we're going to add the chocolate cake mixture. Make sure that you stir your dries and your wets without turning the mixture on, or else when you do, all your dries are going to go flying all over your kitchen. So make sure you incorporate everything together. This process takes about 5 minutes to make. It's very easy. Once you're done, it should look a little bit like this, very runny. On a separate bowl, we're going to add our large 5 eggs to start our flan. Add your vanilla, your evaporated milk, add your condensed milk, and your media crema. We're going to whisk this all together. You can also add it to the blender if you like. I'm just going to be using our hand mixture. Mix it all well together. And now we have both of them together. The chocolate cake and the flan. This whole process took me about 10 minutes to make, and then while I was making that, this is how my sugar turned out. It kind of has like little cracks on there. That's what we want. We want our sugar to be cold and it starts to break like this. Once this happens, we're going to add our flan first. Make sure you add it very slowly. And then we're going to add our chocolate cake. Don't fill it all the way up. Make sure you leave a little bit of room at the very top because the chocolate cake is going to expand. So I had a little bit of chocolate cake mixture at the end, so I just put it on a separate pan, and I'm gonna make a little small chocolate cake. If you have a bigger pan than mine, this might not be an issue, but it was my brother's birthday very recently and I made him this recipe, and I have forgotten to bring the pan back to my house, so I didn't have the pan that I normally use. I'm using the smaller one, but if we have a bigger pan, that's gonna work even better. I have a 10-inch pan on here. Like I said, our chocolate cake is going to expand, so I'm going to be creating like a little bridge to put our foil on top so it won't touch the chocolate cake. If you don't mind touching the foil, you can add it like that, cover it completely, and it's not gonna expand as much, and also your chocolate cake is going to touch the foil. I don't like it when it touches the foil, so I'm gonna be adding this little ridge. It's just a long piece of foil. Put it at the top, secure it on both sides, make sure it has like a little bridge on it, and then we're gonna add a bigger piece of foil and just cover it completely. Make sure no spaces are available for the air to go in or out. You also want to make sure your oven is preheated at 400 degrees Fahrenheit at this time. While our oven was preheating, I added my square pan with half of it filled with water. While it was preheating, the water is hot now, so we're just gonna add our chocolate cake pan on top. And if you feel that it needs a little bit more water, go ahead and add a little bit more. And I also have my chocolate cake. After about 15-20 minutes, I'm checking on it, and my chocolate cake pan is ready. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out at this time. You know it's ready whenever you put a fork in it or a knife and you take it out and it comes out clean. If it comes out very doughy, then you need to put it back for another 5 minutes on there. Within 15 minutes, I'm showing you guys here that I checked my flan. And as you can see, the edges are kind of cooked, but the middle is very raw. So I'm just turning it, make sure it's on the very center of the stove, closing it back up, and then after about an hour, we're gonna go ahead and check again. I'm going to remove the foil completely, insert a knife, and if my knife comes out completely clean, that means it's done. And we're gonna go ahead and take it out of the oven and just gonna place it on top, let it cool down before you refrigerate it. I would suggest leaving this on the fridge for overnight, just so that everything can cool down and it can have a better flavor. For some reason, I always feel like cold flan tastes better than when it just came out of the oven, but it's up to you however you want to eat it. So here I have my flan ready. As you can see, it's very bouncy. And here is my chocolate cake that I'm going to be turning into a tres leches later on this week. I left this overnight, and then this is the next day. And as you can see, my chocolate cake flattened out. Now it's all one level completely. I'm using a spatula to go all over the edge just to make sure it's not stuck to it. And I'm going to be flipping it a little bit. Make sure everything is removed from the walls. It all should be shaking very quickly. And then we're going to transfer it to a plate. I have this clear plate that I bought at H-E-B. I'm going to place it on top. Put one hand on the bottom, one hand on top, and then do a quick flip. Make sure you tap on top to make sure your Chocoflan is completely down now. And then we're going to carefully take the pan out. And this is how it looks like. We're going to be cutting a slice so you can see the inside of it. And this is our end result for our Chocoflan. Like I said, it's one of my brother's top favorite. For his birthday, he ate it all. He didn't want to share with anybody. I mean, obviously he had to, but he didn't want to. He just likes it very much. It's very good for birthdays. Very easy to make. Like I said, the only thing, you just have to make it a day before you actually need it. And it's a nice level of flan and chocolate on there. I do have a second way to make a Chocoflan. Let me know if you guys need that other recipe to make the Chocoflan. If you guys don't have an oven, or if you don't feel comfortable putting the flan and the chocolate cake together to cook evenly. There is different ways to cook this. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell to be notified every time that we upload a video. Share with your friends. If you love this recipe, give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Come back next week for another brand new recipe. And I hope you guys had a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye!